So I want to thank everybody for joining us for the OneHome introductory webinar today. My name is Janine Gardner. I know most of you. I see your names there, and I know you know myself and Tora, my partner Tora. And I'm excited to bring this to you. On December 5th, we will all have a new way, basically emailing our customers through the auto email. And this program is called the OneHome. So what I'm going to do today is just a very quick introductory so that you can get comfortable and know what's going to change. We will have classes. We're actually going to start classes on this December 1st, and we're going to have the whole day. We're going to have at least 4 or 5 classes that you can join us on. They won't be more than an hour. And then that entire week, we're also going to have this class at least once a day, just in case you can't make it on the 5th. Okay. So today is just to get used to it and see what we have to offer for the OneHome. I think you guys are going to get excited about this. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your customers, what they're going to see. So we're going to start off class by showing you what you have first so that you can get comfortable with it and the updates and the changes. And then I'm going to go in as a customer and show you what their view is and how they get to work some of the features. Okay. As we're going through, make sure that you go ahead and you put your questions in. After we're done with the demonstration, we're going to go back and answer your questions for you. That way you get to see everything. And if we have to double back to answer some questions, we definitely will. This is also being recorded for you. You will receive a recording of this in YouTube, and you also will receive a recording of this, those of you that have registered sometime next week. I'm not quite sure what day, but definitely next week you will receive this. But again, don't fret, we will have classes, webinars on this starting December 5th. We're also going to incorporate this for the newer agents into the basics class or the new subscribers class when we teach them how to auto email. And we will also host this in the managing my searches, contacts, and emails class that we consistently host in our regular roster of classes too. So you'll never be without this class. This is ongoing. And again, I'm excited to bring a lot of these new updates and features to you. So let's go ahead, guys, and get started. So I'm going to go ahead first and share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to first, as always, go right into Real Comp as though I was the actual agent. So we're going to deal with you first. What do you see? How do you work this? How do you get to explain it to your customer? So I'll log into Real Comp Online. And let's pretend I did a search. And I'm going to just close out these different announcements here. And by the way, you'll be able to watch the tutorials, even if you before you receive this one or ongoing through the welcome to RCO Matrix and OneHome. You'll also be able to get to it through realcomp.com. And I'll show you that before we end so that you have a place to go back to. But let's assume that I went ahead and I did a search. And I need to go ahead and check out my customer's auto email here. So I'm going to go up to my RCO and come on down to auto emails. When I click on the link here and I click on open in OneHome here, open up. This is your view. And you'll be able to see this. I'm just going to kind of move some things around here so I can see a little bit better. You'll notice it says you're in the agent preview mode. So let's take this step by step. Most of this information you already know how to do because it's just pulling over from the auto email that we're using now, just maybe with a different little look to it. So at the very top, you have your updates are coming from your particular customer. Below that, you have the number of results, and they can sort, you can sort by the newest, highest, lowest in the status. You'll also be able to click on, sometimes you think, what is my criteria? You can click on search criteria and read what you put in for your customer as their criteria. Let's talk about the look of the page. So you have your map view. If I go into my upper right-hand corner, this is the map view. We also have the galley view. And we have our line view, which you're able to, oh, there we go. You're able to see all the properties in a one-liner too. So you still have the same options here. You actually can also do a new search if you need it to. So I'm going to go back to the map here because I want to dig into that and again and show you all the features that you have here. When we click onto the map view, let's talk about a particular property. When I click on the photo, up comes the listing. And if I click on the photo itself, it opens up to that view that we're used to. I call it the supersized view, if you will, because you get to see the property. And even as you go through, it feels like you're actually in the room. So you still have that option. I will go ahead and close that out. Oops. Let's do that there. Just move that around. And if we look at the rest of the listing, again, you can view all the photos here. And now they open up in the galley view. Or you can go back to photos and look at them individually. And you will always close out with the X here next to the address. But scrolling down, you get all the other details, the remarks section, the feature section. If I click on the property details here, the down arrow, it'll open up so that you get to see the rooms, the building details. So it's a nice clean report that, as you can see. Here's the other features. So the pricing, terms, location, and the schools in the area. Now, not just the schools, but you also get the school rating. So it starts with the elementary school. You can click on the middle school, high school, and the private schools in the area. And if there are additional schools, it'll say down below, you can load more. Scrolling down, you also get travel time. So you can actually calculate the traveling time, put in your destination, and you'll be able to see how long it takes you to get to said spot. But we'll have more fun with that when we log in as the customer. You also get the public records. And if there's any open houses, not on this particular listing, you would see where they are actually scheduled. Scrolling down, now you don't get to fill this in as a favorite for your customer, but they will. And then your information's down at the bottom here, contact information. As I continue scrolling down, you do get neighborhood information. How long is it going to take you to walk the neighborhood, bike it, or drive through? And then you get the pricing history and the tax information. And then down below, there's similar properties to the one that you are currently looking at now. It pulls from the search criteria that you did for your customer. Now, you could look at the property going previous or next, or you could go back to all of the properties. One thing that I do want to point out here, and again, we'll dig into this a little bit deeper when we talk with the customer. Notice that you have your favorites here with the heart, and you also have a thumbs down for if they don't like it. Notice because I'm in the agent view, if I click on it to try to do any of those, it tells me, sorry, nope, you can't. You're in the agent preview. So you can't make those changes for your customer. But they will be able to click on the monthly breakdown and fill in those different pricings to see if they could afford the property or what it will cost them. You can write a note to them. They also can write a note to you. And then again, you can set up a compare for them. If you wanted to pull from the search and say, here's other properties that are just like yours. Here you have it. Here's something exciting, market insights. If I click on view insights, it opens up, shows me the map, shows me the medium, like price and owner occupied, renter occupied in the area with the grid, shows me the different demographics. And it also does a demographic breakdown for you for each property. So I can list it by age, I can do education. I can click the down arrow and even do marital status. And all of this your customer will receive too. It's just nice that you have it in your view as well. So I'll go ahead and close out that neighborhood sites. And we'll go ahead and click on back to listing. No, this, I believe this is one that actually has, let's see here, scroll down a little bit. An open house. Let's find one that does. And I do want you to see that if it is available to see. Let's see on the listing here. Aha, here's one that has an open house. So when I give that a click, and I can scroll on down, it even has a virtual tour as well that I can click on. Scrolling down a little bit lower, here's the open house and here's how it shows. And you can actually click on add to calendar. And if you're on your Outlook or your Gmail, whatever you're linked to, you can put that in your calendar so that you know that it's scheduled there and it will show up for your calendar. So very nice, really cool, easy look. If you wanted to go back to all of the listings instead of going previous and next, you can click on all listings and you're back here at square one. So that is your look. Now let's dig in a little bit deeper and let's look at what the customer sees when they open up your email. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch pages here. Go. Okay, so you've emailed your customer. They open up their email and they get the welcome letter, just like we have here. And it'll tell them, just like our current email does, some details on how to utilize it. So Bugs Bunny is the agent, Richie Rich is the customer in this case. We're going to click on view all listings. So Richie Rich opens up his email. Okay. He sees your marketing information and he can continue to go through any of the other details that you've put in about yourself so that he knows who he's working with and information to contact you. Notice the screen looks very similar when from your look to his. So there are a few little tidbits here that are really neat for the customer. So their information comes up with the name of the search that you did. Again, they still get the map, they get the gallery, and they get the one-liner as well. But they can do so much more with it. So I'm going to go again back to the map. And again, you can always scroll down and click on any listing. It'll open up. Okay. And from that point on, if we look to the right side here, your customer can like a property. Okay. And notice that it says, we haven't seen you before. So they want your customer to sign in so that they can use all the cool features, okay? Where they can break down the monthly costs, request a tour, add notes, and different things of that sort. So let's go ahead and sign in. Richie needs to sign in so he gets to do all of those things and let you know what he's interested in. We'll click on sign in at the top. Your customer will put their email in, put their password in. I suggest that you teach them to click on remember my email address. So that way, the next time you email them and they have an update, when they click on, they don't have to remember, oh, okay, I got to put in my password and things of that sort. It's all here. So we'll click on sign in. There we go. So now if this is the property that Richie is interested in, of course he can go through and scroll through. If he likes this property, of course he can put a heart to it. If he's thinking, not so much, I like the area, I like the building, but not this particular one, he can put in his thumbs down, and you'll notice it will say not for you, and it'll tell them you will no longer see this property show up in your results. However, you will still be able to see it in your favorite section. So we don't have a save as a, if you will, you've got your hearts, your favorites, you've got your maybe properties, and you've got those that they don't like, possibilities. Well, every property is a possibility here in the OneHome. So you either like it or you can click on not for you. So I'm going to put on the not for you on this one. And then we'll go back later and look at what that looks like for your customer. But again, they can click on the breakdown and play with the dollars if they choose to. Okay. I'm just going to move this out of my way. There we go. And they can add notes. So that you get to see that. And I'll show you where that shows up, but it shows here, it's the time frame, so they know they wrote you the letter. And you can do comparison. So if I click on start comparison, here's your property that you sent them, but now they can click on add property and go into their search or their favorites and pull up another property so that they can look at them side by side. And it will walk them through. So next, when they click on that, they will have an opportunity to read that and take them through a step-by-step so that they know exactly what they need to put, how to work that exact property. So I will go ahead and click on compare, and notice it says select. Now it's unselect if I don't want that one. So I can go through and check off the properties that I really like as a customer and look at them side by side when I'm ready. And it will let me know at the top here, there's my comparison. So I have 3, okay? And it will also tell me in the right side, you have 2 notifications. So I added this property to compare. So I can click back on go to compare and see the properties that I want to look to side by side. And I'll click on that. And I can scroll on down and I can start playing with the different price ranges if I need to, the interest rate, the HOA fees. So I can see them all in the column form. I can even scroll through and see each photo here. So this is a great look for them. They don't have to toggle back and look at one photo one by one by one. They can add them to the comparison and go side by side and then look at all their details of the property. It's really cool that they can do that. So that's a really good opportunity for them to filter it. If they didn't want to look at it just this way, they can always click on the map and they can see where each of the properties are on the map for them. So I'm going to circle this because they're a little spread out here. But there's one, there's another, and the other one should be down here somewhere. But it's closer down to the map here. So they get to see it in the view of the listings, or they can click on it and show, and it can be viewed in the map. So that is for your customers. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to go back to the top here. Close this out. And go back to OneHome. Let's talk about some things that they can do on the map. Now you can do these things as well, but for them on the map, they might want to see some other cool things that happen. So I'm going to keep this search up here and I'm going to move over into the boundaries. When I click on that, I'm going to have to zoom in as it tells me. Zoom in a little bit closer. Go. Nope, Let's get in a little closer. Okay. And I can look up a cool thing here. So I can click on, if there's different zip codes, I can click on zip and click apply. And I can see the zip codes. If you look a little closer, you can see the dividing line here with the zip codes. We can click back on boundaries. If I click on, let's say, Unified School District and click apply, I get to see what school district is which. I also get to click on neighborhood and click apply. Now, this is a great example of what your customer have. Notice that you start to see different neighborhoods, but you also, in this particular search here in your boundaries, notice the dividing lines here. It also tells what school, neighborhood school that the kids can go to by the boundary lines here. You know, so it's really with different high schools and things like that, it will define that for you under boundaries. So there's quite a few of them here. School, here's another for schools. If I click on, let's say, middle school and click apply, are there any in the area here? Let's see. There's Nichols Middle School there. It will tell you that. See if there's any elementary schools. We'll click apply. Move over. There's Hutchinson Elementary School. So it will give you those details there. I'll clear that out too. You also have your drive time that you can click in and put in your particular address. Drive from here, and then you get to pick how far away do you want to go, how big of a commute do they want to have, what time do they have to be at said place, and when you click apply, there we go, it will show you which homes will get you to that particular spot and that particular time frame. And then the properties will show up on the side here. So I'll go ahead and clear that out. And then one of my favorites is points of interest. So I'm gonna, again, scroll in right into this neighborhood here. There we go, get a little closer. And when I click, oh, gotta zoom in a little bit more. It will tell you, so you don't have to worry about that. It'll tell you if you need to zoom in. There we go. There we go. So if I'm looking for a bank in that particular area, I can click on banking and click apply. And if there's any in the neighborhood, that will show up for me. Or let's say it is education for whatever reason. There we go. We can see them pop up on the map. Look at the little apples that pop up. When I click on that, that will tell me what school or what educational building that would be. So it will show those right in that neighborhood there. If we do, let's say, food and dining, that's always a good one. So we get to see the little icon here with the fork and knife here, and it'll tell you which restaurant that is. So always cool things that they have that they can look up with the point of interest. And I'll go ahead and clear that right out. So there's lots of things that they can look up neighborhood wise. Now, let's dig deeper. So this is the search that you sent your customer. And again, they can go in and they can declare which ones they like, which ones they don't like. They can look deeper into the photos. They can set up comparisons side by side if they choose to. They can click on an actual listing and go through and do those same exact things with the school, the travel time at the bottom, public records. And again, if they didn't want to click on the thumbnail to declare if it's their favorite or not, at the bottom of the listing, they could pick either or. So what if after looking at your search, they go, you know what, I think I want to dig a little deeper. I want to do my own search and see what I come up with. Great. We can always go over to new search. And at the top, here is all the criteria. So let's say I even want to come out of that neighborhood. I can type in another city or area or a street name. When I click on search, the map will come up, and notice I typed in the city of Southfield, and you can see that on the map, it has drawn those parameters here. And now I can start filling in what I'm exactly interested in. Do I want to buy or do I want to rent? What type of property am I looking for? Houses, condos, and such. I'll take off 3. What price range am I looking for? So I can click that down arrow. Let's say I want 250 or more and click apply to that. I'm down to 52. Okay. And then I can click on more and I can fill in a price range. I can fill in the number of beds. So let's go 3 bedrooms and at least 2 baths. And I'll fill in my square footage. I need at least, let's say 2,000 square feet. And we'll click apply to that. And notice how they all pop up inside of the map. And then my results are on the left side here. I can also draw my own parameters too. So yes, I do want this area, but maybe I'm going to click clear here to get rid of the parameters, and I'm going to zoom in on a certain area here. And once I get it in the map, I, as the customer, I can click on that world there and look at it in the world road map. I can click on the satellite and zoom in. I can do the hybrid and see the streets in between. I can click on the terrain if needed. But I'm going to go back to the road map, and then I'm going to click on the pin. And when I click on the pin, I click, hold, and drag, and I just kind of freehand my drawing there. Let's clear that out there. And although they see automatically the properties that are currently available in that area, when they save their search, if there are any other properties that fit that criteria in that area, it will pop up for them when they open up that search again. So I'm just going to go ahead and save the search. And it is now titled. So you'll see the criteria go and you'll see that it's here. I can actually click this down arrow and I can see toggle between the search that my agent sent me. I can click the down arrow, and here are all of my saved searches as well. So I just created the one for the Southfield area. Here's one that I did previously. I'm looking for rentals. Richie Rich is looking for rentals downtown as well. So at any time they want to do their own search, they can, and they can start a new search there. They can always go back to the original one that you made for them here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on another search here that I did. And it's just going to take its time coming up here for us, of course. Come on through. There we go. Just a little patience. Okay, so here's my search. Here's one of the cool things that you have here. Remember, we were saving favorites and things of that sort. They can always go up to their favorites. and they can see them on the map. That's one option. They can see the little heart here. And if they give it a click, it'll open up and they can view that on the map, and they can actually open up the listing from the map and dig a little bit deeper and look through all the photos and things of that sort. They can actually add a note. They can see the note that they've put in, and they can see the notes that you have put in as well. Okay. They can request the tour, put in their time frame here. So all of that is still available for them to be as interactive as possible with it. So they also, if I go back to my favorites, if they didn't want to look at it in the map view, I can close off of the map and they can look at it in the galley style here. So they can see all their favorites. And they also get to see the ones that they closed out before, the not for me. If they change their mind and they go, you know, well, maybe I said not for me originally, but I think I've changed my mind. So I'm going to change that back to a favorite. They can easily click back on the heart. It'll tell them at the top they went from the not for me back to the favorite list here. Very easy to do so that they can have that. So, and it'll tell them the notification that they did. So I'll click on refresh and we're back at our favorites, just like that. So they have the ability to swap. We all know that once a buyer sees a house that they thought they hated, now they've seen others, they can go back and change their mind and end up loving that property, maybe even sometime buying that property. You'll also notice on the favorites, when we did the comparison, we have those that say compare, and we have those that we already had in our compare list. So if we decided to deselect that one, we always can click on unselect and it's back to compare. And we can pick another that might work for us by clicking that comparison button. And again, looking at them side by side, when we click on go to compare, here she is. And you can easily remove it if it doesn't work for you. So this was not only a favorite, we're now comparing it side by side too. I'm going to go ahead and click back on OneHome. That's our home page back. And one of the last things that I want to talk about that your customer has the option to do, it's called a property fit. Yes, you have emailed them. You've talked about their criteria. You've sent them the right homes. They can go in and do their own search if they choose to. But they also have what's called the property fit, where they can get a little bit deeper into really fine tuning what it is that they're after, and they can put it in priority. So yes, you did submit the properties, but you know, I need to make sure that I get these exact things in my home. So I'm going to go up to the top and click on planner. Now this only works when they sign in. So when I click on planner, it'll walk me through 4 simple steps as the buying mode. There's also a selling mode, but since we're working with buyers on this one, when I click on the buying mode, I can click on the get to know process. So this will walk me through things that I need to ask you as my agent, if you haven't already given those things to me. What's a typical timeline to buy a home? You know, it's getting my mode thinking, you know, how do I make sure that it goes smoothly? What else do I need to know? You know, once I go through those particular questions with you and additional ones, I can click on complete it. If I've been through this before and I don't need it, I can click doesn't apply to me. And I can go to the next task. Let's see what I can afford. So I need to figure out what I can borrow. I need to understand what's going to cost me and other things that I need to know about buying a property. So again, for a first-time buyer, this is getting their mind together of things that they might not have considered, but they need to now. The next task, everybody can do. This is definitely setting up their preferences, okay? So I'm going to click on update your preferences. This is going directly to the search that they have created themselves or the one that you have sent them. When I click on update my preferences, it takes me right into the property preferences. So there's their profile. It's got their email address, their name, their address. Here's the property fit preferences. I'll click on get started and it'll walk me through so I can think about what really is important to me when I purchase this property. So I can click on let's go and it'll ask me what's more important to you. You want a newer home or looking for someone older? I'm going to click newer home. And I can skip any of these questions as well. What's the look of my home? You know, do I want outdoor space or am I happy staying in the indoors? Do I want an open concept or a traditional layout? Things to, again, make me think, well, I didn't think to ask my agent this, but now it's getting down to what I really prefer. Do I want a garage or do I want to park on the street? Do you want a smart home? Or is the smart home is not what you're necessarily looking for? Environmentally low impact or a green home, what's more important or not? And do you want a larger lot or a smaller one? Okay. Now it gets to the features. So you want to put them in priority to you. You get to pick 3 out of these that you want the most in your property. So I'm going to say definitely laundry. I'll take granite countertops and a in-suite master bathroom. Again, what are the most exterior features that you would like? I'll say patio, we'll say parking, definitely, and storage. And now I get to rank the choices from the most to the least important. So I would definitely say laundry is number 1. You can change the order of these. And now you're all set. You can click on start exploring and it'll take you back to that search that you did and show you the ones that fit the most with what you decided that you were the most important features that you selected as the customer. Now I also can sort. If I click on sort by, I can sort by the highest, the lowest feature, and or pricing and the different status here. So I have all of those that are available to me. Okay, so that's basically what your customer sees. Now, where is this going to affect you as the agent? Your customer's been in here, they've been looking, they're doing their own searches, they're seeing everything that is available to them. Let's go back to the agent view now. So I'm going to go ahead and click back on that share. We'll go back and look at the agent screen here. There we are. So here's your agent preview again. So I'm going to go ahead and look into Real Comp. So you've done your search, you've sent it over, and now you want to look and see what your customer has done. So I'm going to go to my RCO and we're going to go ahead and click on contacts. And when I scroll on down, so some of you have been a little bit busy playing. Look at Bugs Bunny. He's got some of you as clients here. And let's go find Richie Rich here. We'll give him a click. And when I click on Richie Rich, just like I would any other customer, let's look on the side here. So we can see his favorites, the ones he's discarded, and we can even click and look at the notes that he sent us here. When I click on that, it will open up. It shows the date that I emailed. It shows the ones that he loves, the ones he threw in the trash can. And notice what we have here, property fit. So because Richie Rich went in and he filled out that property fit, we can get to see which one's rating worked best for him. Even the one that he disliked had a half of a rating, but we see the two most that probably will work best for him. So he even wrote notes. When we click on that, it opens up and we can see that he wrote a letter. You can write back. Okay. And then that way and I'll click on add note. And that way, when he opens back up his email, he'll be able to click on that listing and see that you actually answered him back. We can toggle between, again, the ones that he threw away, the notes. And if I click on that little heart there, again, I can click back on his favorites. I'm going to go back to contacts. This page is full of things. So you get to see the email address, the favorites, the discards, the notes. Scrolling down a little bit, here's all of his activity. We added a favorite. They visited their portal. They created their own search. And you, again, can click on that and view it. Ones that they discarded, notes, and you can see exactly when they clicked on and started visiting the portal. All of this information is here for you. Now, if we take a look at the planner, remember, these are the things that he went through that was sent to him. And he's checked off things that he's gone through with you so that you can decide when you're looking at this, okay, well, we went over the get to know process. We know what you can afford. Make sure we go through and set your home preferences. So if we needed to sell your property and help you buy another one, and we can then have a game plan on what to do so that you can keep abreast of everything that they have gone through, even down to the closing. And lastly, on this page, you've got the property fit, the things that he said that he just had to have in his home. He can always go back and manage that, because what was important today may not be tomorrow, especially after they start looking at properties. If he wants to, he can always go back on his side, go into property fit and go through the module again and re-answer those questions and see how they change up. You can also go in, here's the auto email, the initial auto email that you sent them. And then here's the 2 additional emails that you might have sent that have had updates in them. When I give that a click, again, here's the initial email, but here's the 1 update. We'll give that a click. It takes you right into it, and it happens to be the one that they threw in the trash can, but you always can look at the MLS number and it'll go right to the listing. So you can see which one he did not particularly like, or the one that he did like, by looking at the updates. Okay, so all of this is available to you. So you'll be able, again, to see everything that they did. If you wanted to, you can click on the auto email. Instead of going to my RCO and auto emails to see, you can go to my RCO and contacts, and you still have the same data, the settings, the criteria, if you needed to change their criteria, the results, if you needed to look that up. And again, if you wanted to view what they were viewing on the OneHome, you could do that as well. But you can also see how you've set their schedule up. And you could look at all the sent emails that you sent them as well, just by going into contacts. We'll click back on open in OneHouse, and you're back at that same search that they're reviewing. And maybe you might need to do this to guide them through the first time, but you are able to walk through and see exactly what they're seeing. So let's go ahead and look at some questions. You guys have been asking questions all along, so let's go ahead and tackle those. Let's see. I got a question. It is Friday at 9 a.m. on Christmas Island in the South Pacific Ocean. Okay. Will you have in-person classes? Not particularly for this, but we do have this class in the new subscribers class and also in the manage our searches, emails, and contacts class. And we do offer those classes in a webinar and also in class. But to host this class just by itself, it would not be long enough to do that. So we've incorporated into additional classes. Okay, let's see what we have. When you go to the auto emails, where do you go to next? I don't see a map. Okay, I think I might have answered that for you. How do you go to the OneHome screen? I do not have it. Okay, so when you do your search as normal and you email the customer, it will automatically be the view of the OneHome. So it's taking place of the email that we currently have now. And again, that goes live December 5th. Does the payment in the info calculator pull the exact tax amounts for the individual property? Let's go ahead and see that. I'm not quite sure. It should pull it from public records. So let me go in as Richie Rich again here. Search and we'll go back in. Okay, so I'm under Richie Rich and let's click on a property here and let's go in and find that out. So we'll click on the breakdown of the monthly cost. So just so I can reiterate the question, does the payment info calculator pull the actual tax amount for the individual properties? Let's see what we have here. HOA fees. Monthly payment, individual mortgage. No, it doesn't look like it does. So we would probably have to re-enter that information. Let me scroll down a little bit lower and see if we have that in our public records. Parcel number. No, it doesn't look like that. Doesn't mean that when we go live, it would not have that. But for right now, I do not see that as the option here. Okay.
Had a tax rate.
A tax rate. Okay,
on the screen.
Go back in.
Yeah. So when you click in the down arrow next to property taxes,
there we go. Okay.
It showed a tax rate.
Ah, okay. That's what we're looking for. Okay. I thought we were looking for the actual taxes per year. Okay. Let's see here. We have another question here. We got quite a few. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we got a question. So we can no longer open their portal and favorite a listing for them. That is correct. They take charge of that when they sign in. Okay. I have clients that won't use that feature, even if I've taken them to see a property and they can actually like it enough. Keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. Yes, they take the bull by the horns on that one and they like it or dislike it. And they have to sign in to do so. What defines neighborhood? If it is certainly a radius, or city limits or something else. It looks like in this case that it's the definitive parts of the map here. I'll go back to that so that we can look at this a little bit deeper. Let's go into back to listings. And I'll go to boundaries and I got to zoom in. Let's see here. Zoom in a little bit more. Let's get more in the neighborhood. When I click apply, so whatever they have determined here, and notice that again, with the neighborhood, it's breaking down what school that this area they would be going to. So everybody, for instance, that lives in this area that I'm circling now, they would be able to go to this particular school of Butzel. Outside of that, just 1 mile over, they're going to McDougall Hun here, or they're going to Rivertown. So it would determine that information too, but it also breaks down the subdivision name as well. Okay. Does the listing agent have access to the client's remarks and likes? Yes, they see that. I think I answered that under the contact page. Do I have to update all of my clients' auto emails in the system now? No, the system still works the same. They will receive an auto email. They'll receive an update when they get it. I actually think I might have an example of that when they get the one update. Let me see if I can find that for you. I'll do that before we leave here. Will the agent be emailed when a client writes a note on the property and are looking for a review? Yes, any property that's been updated even by a note, when they click on it, they will be able to see the note that was written by the agent so they'll see the whole conversation pop up under the notes. What happens when they request a tour? Well, I'm not live, so when I request a tour, they will be able to see if the tour is available. They'll be able to mark off the time frames that they would prefer to go see it. Then, of course, when you do your calling to make the actual appointment, if they're not available at that time, I'm sure the other agent will show you when they are. And then you can go from there rescheduling. Does the piece work for commercial listings as well? It will work with anything that's listed in Real Comps data. Okay. Is the password the same as the old system for the customers? Yes, they don't have to change anything. They just log on in as normal, and they will be able to have their same email. Now, when they log into the OneHome, as they should, it will give them access to mark things as their favorite or mark things that are not. It'll be able to let them go into the property fit and further refine what they're looking for. Let's see, can we delete the breakdown so that they can't see that, or is it hardwired in? It's not really accurate. I saw the interest rate was set in. So if we go back to that, I'm just going to pick up the property again by clicking on it here. Oops, scrolled out too far. Okay, so let's see, do this. I'll give it a click. So they can go in and play with this. Maybe they don't want to put that down. Maybe they want to put a little bit more down. So you can't change it for them, but they are allowed to change and play with the entire data here so that they can decide what they want to do at that particular point. So just like any other mortgage calculator, they're able to go in and type in and change what they see here. Okay. Do I receive an email when my client has selected a home? No, you do not. You can check for it under your contacts, and you can check for it under your auto emails as you currently do. Are the faves and thumb downs and notes new with OneHome, or is that also featured in the Matrix portal? Yeah, it is a new look here, but yes, you've always had a markup of a heart if they like the property. If it's a possibility, it's a yellow heart. And if they don't like the property at all, it's a trash can. That's been currently in the Matrix portal. And yes, they have always been able to write a note to you and you answer back with them in a note. So that has not changed. It's just got a different look here. Okay. Oh, and I lost there we go. Do I have to update all of my clients' emails in the system now? No, you don't. When a client writes a note, no, you will not. It'll be in your portal. Let's see here. For request of a tour feature, who do we send that to? You as the realtor, yes. So when they request that, you'll go in and you will see that they've requested the tour and you'll call to make the appointment as normal. Does the property details include the room sizes? Yes. If I scroll on down here, do this. And forgive me, I've got like 3 different windows open here. So I'm scrolling down here. It is under room details. It's got the room dimensions right here. Does the map have a and a plus to scroll in and out? Actually, it does. You're going to use it on your, you can use your mouse, or if I go back up here and look at the map, down below, you've got your plus and your minus to scroll in and get whatever it is you need. So I'm just using my mouse, but yes, you do have that plus and minus. And again, you can click, hold, and pan around on your map to get what it is that you need. Yes, you can make the map bigger. You can make it as big as you need to see the streets here, but it will stay in this little area here, if you will. Will this be an app form that we can send out as a link if we are able to? Now that I'm not sure of, if it will be an actual app.
They say no.
They say no.
This has been redesigned to be device responsive.
Perfect. Okay. Does it give out a school rating? Yes, it does. When you're in the actual, let me scroll back in so I can get some properties again here. Let me take that boundaries off. Let's clear that off. So when I click on a property and we look at the schools that are in the area down at the bottom here, so it does your elementary, middle, high school, and your private ones. Notice that each one I click, it the different schools pop up. It does have the rating that's available right there. And it tells what type of school that is. Does it show us what they are looking at when they are looking, if they don't like the heart or dislike? They need to mark those properties. You know what you sent them, unless they actually mark them like or dislike, or not now, or not for me, I should say. That's the actual terminology. No, everything stays the same in your view. So you will not know which ones until they do that. Very similar what goes on today. That's why it's important that you kind of teach your customer how to, if you love the property, click on the heart so that I have some indication of what happens. And when we come out of this, I'm going to show you what it looks like on your homepage under your portal visitors as well. You got a few more icons going in. Let's see. I want to drive clients to my website, which means I'm using a provider like Showcase IDX. I'm not interested in building the OneHome brand. I'm interested in building my brand. How can OneHome provide me that solution? Well, this is the auto email portal that your customers will receive when you email them. It is literally taking the place of what we currently have right now. So I would advise you to speak with our IDX professional that we have in the office to see if if you're looking for something different, how that can happen. Will they be notified when a new house is listed? Yes, just like now, they'll be sent an updated email and it'll have that new feature there. If the consumer saves a new search, is the agent notified? They are notified again when they click on, when you go into your auto emails and you click on that customer, and you'll be able to see, when you click the down arrow, you'll be able to see if they have new searches or not. Will you as their agent see if the new search of the client, okay, we got that question. Oh, 4 times in a row, great. Okay, let's see. Can an agent working with the buyer see the new search is set up? Okay. Can I do more than one search for the same client and have it saved under the agent's search? They will be able to do that. It will fit in their portal. So if the customer wanted a different area, when you do a search, a separate search for them, because you already have them set up as a customer, it will fit right into their portal. So they'll be able to click the down arrow and they'll see the initial searches that you did for them, as well as the ones that they did for themselves. And they'll be right here, your agent save search, so you can have several different areas here, and then they can have their own down here as well. So they'll be able to see them in the drop down. Okay. I think we've answered that question about the tour. Let's see here. Yes, the room sizes. You can see that on the search. Regarding the client sign in, is this something that will be new to them, or they have been asked to create a profile previously entering the portal? This is brand spanking new. They will be able to click in and put their email address and set up a password, so that basically it's protecting their search so that they can feel part of the transaction, and they can set up their own favorite searches here. They can mark things favorite. They can mark them not for me. They can, again, set up that property fit as well, so that they can redefine a little bit more of what they're looking for. And you both will be able to see that. Okay. When our clients register and sign in, is their contact information then available to third parties? No, it is not. We protect your information and theirs. Do all my customers have to go through this? Well, they have to. You're going to email them their prospect search. So it's up to them. If they want to just look at what you have sent them, great. But again, if they want all the additional features, yes, they have to sign in. How does it do that when those are not criteria in the MLS? I guess I don't understand that question. It's just like a regular search that you would normally do. You do the search. If the properties come up, you would send it out to email them. If a property is then updated in the system, or a property has been added new, they will receive that as they currently do.
Janine,
Yes.
I think Dana might be referring to the property fit questions.
The property fit question. Okay.
Yep. Like, open concept. Did you want a large lot of land or a small, those questions, and the property fit. And what we've been told by CoreLogic is that they have a proprietary algorithm that goes out and looks at lots of fields on the listing to determine the percentage of a match it might be for that criteria. I think that's what Dana's referring to. Dana, you can confirm that on the message there, though, if you want to submit a comment through Q&A.
And while she's typing that in, I have 2 questions that want to know, how do I as the agent know that they've marked it a favorite or not? I'll show you that when we go back to the home pages, just as it is now under your property visitors page here, or tab, I'm sorry, widget. Okay, let's see here. If a buyer types a note, will the agent automatically be notified? I'm going to show you that too. Great question. Can one customer be working with more than one agent? If so, which agent receives updates or do they both? I'm quite sure that if the customer has two agents emailing them, yeah, they will have access to both sets of searches. So they're set up in a portal in yours and a portal under that other agent as well. Now, if you've ever been to any of our classes, you might understand that we talk specifically about not making anyone a prospect search till they have signed with you, just as a marketing strategy, so that doesn't necessarily happen. Okay. So, but that's not necessarily how everybody works, but that's just nice feedback to make sure that, before you start sending out a prospect email such as this, that is extremely interactive, you really want to make sure that that is your customer. Otherwise, you can just send them that one single email and see, and that doesn't give them updates until they are ready to sign with you. And let's see, can we set up a notification via text or email and their activity and the context that gives them all the details that have been added? That has not been set up as yet, but I am going to show you where you can go, you can text the customer updates in a moment. Let's see what we have here. When does this go live? Monday, December 5th. Okay. How can I register if they can't find my MLS? I'm not quite sure what that exactly means. You are going to do the search for them and send this to them. So they don't need to find Willcom. They're going through you. Okay. Register a tour. How are agents notified? It goes to you and then you request it from that agent. Can we turn off the ability for them to search for themselves? They will sign in. Now, it will prompt them to sign in. Some of them will decide not to, okay? And can the agents turn off the ability for clients to use the planner? Again, when they sign in, that is up to them to decide if they want to be that interactive or not. But that is a great question. Fran, do you know if we have any turn off abilities? If not, we'll definitely ask them.
We do not.
We do not. Okay, so that's up to the customer if they want to sign in for that information. And some will, and some will do it just to be curious, and then they'll just kind of find themselves around it, and then some will not. But if you wanted to introduce that to them, because it's a great way for them to be a little bit more interactive, you can. Okay. How do you set up the clients with their username and password? You don't, they do. Okay, it's totally up to them. When they open up that first initial email from you, it will ask them to sign in. One of the ways that they can do it that might prompt them is when they go into their email and they are familiar with looking at the hearts and the thumbs down. When they click on it, if they have not signed in, it's going to ask them, hey, we can't do that for you yet till you sign in. So that will prompt them, and either they will or they won't at that point. Will there be a tutorial video made for prospect buyers and sellers? Yes, we will always have a webinar available for you and set up in our RealComp training module where they can go in, or you can go in and watch the video as much as possible. Okay. Yes.
If I could just add that slideshow that we put together.
Yes, I'm going to show you that.
Okay, that it does have a video that they can share with their clients. The link is right in that slideshow.
Great. When I get to that part, I will definitely show that for you guys. Okay. Will we get notified via email or text of the property? Nope, we've answered that question. How many properties? Yes, they will, but on the homepage. How many properties can you compare? 3 at a time. It's a 3-up report. So you pick your first property, and then you can go in and add in the comparisons from the search that was already sent to you, or if you have them as your favorites, you can go in and compare and pull those in and look at them side by side. So it's either the search that you sent them, the search that they created, or their favorites that they have selected that they compare side by side. Why is it necessary to have client use a password? Great question. I do not know exactly how to answer that one.
I think it really has to do with the tracking of all the data and keeping it straight for each client. So,
okay. If someone has opted out from auto emails, do they have to opt in to receive this? You will be able to do that through just like you normally do through your auto emails and the criteria. If someone opts out even if it's by mistake, you can go back in under auto emails and enable them again so that they can still look at all the emails that you're going to send them through auto email. Will this recording be available to view later? Yes, you guys will receive this next week. It'll be in a YouTube form, so you can either go to YouTube and watch it, but you also, everyone that has registered for this webinar, they also will receive the link as well to watch it at their leisure. Okay, how do you set up a couple of emails? As you normally do, this is no different. You will go in and do the search as required. And when you click on save and auto email, you'll fill that out as normal. And this is the look that they will receive. So none of your work is different. It's just the look of the email that will be different. Do price reductions show the old price? Does DOM show on the customer's view? Well, let's see. We've got some here. Let me find an old search. That's the new listing. Do we have any price changes? Let me pull up a search here. There's a price decrease right there. Okay, so let's click on that and let's see if there's an answer for this one. I'm sure it is. At the bottom, property details, building details, other facts and features. Let's see. There is the price history. So this was sold. So it would be under price history. If so, yes, it would be there. It was where it would show up here. Remember, we're not live yet. So, but it would definitely show that history of when it sold, when it came back on the market, if it was listed for sale and also for lease, that information would show here for us, for your customers and you. See, when will this be available for us to start using? December 5th. Okay. I missed the first 10 minutes of class, but I have an existing auto email now. Will those be converted to the new system? Correct me if I'm wrong, Fran. This will be the new look starting December 5th, even with the information that you currently already have. You don't have to resend out the auto emails or anything to your current customers.
You've got that, yeah.
Yep. When they open it up, this is the look. But look how this will be advantageous for you. The ones that you currently are emailing, they might get a little lost. So this is a great way for you to call them back, have a discussion, and even show them how they can refine their criteria or make their own search if they want to. Things might have changed for them and they might not have told you. So now this is a great way to have another conversation and get them to understand the new look that they have and all the features that they can do with this. Let's see, great, okay. How do you set up multiple areas in a search? The same way that you do a search in Real Comp Online is what's going to show here. So The email that we're looking at is currently based off of the search that you do in the system. None of that has changed. So when they are looking at their results, they are going to see everything that you put in for them in that particular area, as they currently do. And they can also see it on the map where it would show up. What is the exact email address that my client should look for when I set up a search for them? Well, if I understand you correctly, it's their email address. So when they decide to open up their email and they decide to sign in, they will sign in with their own email address, so that, and again, save the password, make a password and save it so they can get in to do all the other features. Again, it's the property fit, and again, it's marking things as favorite and non-favorite. So, and it will ask them if they want to save it so they don't have to remember the password. I would hope that they would click on that so they don't have to keep that in their head. They'll be able to go in and click on it the next time you email them and they want to assess those features. Will existing searches automatically transfer? Yep, they will transfer over to the OneHome, or those searches need to be redone. Nope, they will transfer right on over. Okay. When this goes live on the 5th, will our clients receive an email regarding the change, or should we contact them? You want to contact your customers. And again, that would be a great way for you to have a conversation with them and just kind of guide them through some of the new features that they have and the new look that they have.
If I could just add to that, Janine, RealComp will not be communicating with our agents' clients. So we won't communicate with them. And that's why the agents will want to understand the changes that are coming and share those with your clients.
Okay. Can I send an auto search email as a text message to my clients? Yes, I'm going to show you how to do that as soon as we're done with these questions here. Is there a way to text and share a property? Yes, it is. So they will have to sign in to use it every time, even if they save their email on the sign-in page. Will they have to input their password every time they view? No, that's why they want you to save it. Save the password to the OneHome. When you log in and they click on it, they will automatically know it's them. And then they will click on any particular property and they'll have those features available to them. So it's a one-time thing. What happens to my client list of auto emails? Nope, that will stay there. When the client clicks on to make an appointment, who will get that information? You will. And then you will contact the listing agent to make the appointment. When the client puts in all of those preferences, will it not limit the listings just as it does now? If the client states garage or no garage, for instance, I typically tell them not to select those preferences because you can perhaps add a garage. Just for an example, I cannot imagine all of those preferences of any properties will populate. Correct. So it's going to find them the best properties to what their likings are. So you are correct in saying they don't want to be it's not like they're doing a full search over. That's why there's very little criteria. The less is more. And then they will get the results and then they can decide for themselves which are the best. So yes, they don't want to fill everything in there to the T. They just kind of want to put in the basics of what they want. Okay. And again, you have the ability to change up anything that's in the, if I pull this back up, anything that's in the search area here for them to purchase the property. I pulled up, I believe, a lease. Let me pull up another one here. And it's taking its time. There we go. So they will be able to play with the pricing. Okay. Does OneHome have PRD and the last sale date? If I scroll on down to the very bottom, when they click on the property, here is the view public records right here. So they'll be able to see that information. And again, they'll also be able, if I close this out, they can scroll down and see the history of the property as well. If I scroll that down a little bit, there's the price history as well as the tax history. 2 questions. One big change for buyers is that they will have to sign in with the email and password initially, and the system will save that info for the next time. Yes. Also, when they schedule a tour, that comes to you as, yes, that will come to you as the agent. Okay. Let's see. Will your current client search? Yes, they will switch over. So I cannot delete certain properties for my client. Okay. Nope. It is their search to do. So it's putting it in their hands. Now, when you are emailing them initially, you set up the search. If there are properties that you know that they will not like, you can, again, as you normally do, you can delete those and refine those so you don't have to send them. If by chance it fits their criteria and they get it, they have that ability to click on the not for me, and they will delete it so it doesn't show up in their search again. Okay. How can we change and update the agent branding that comes on the welcome portal? As soon as you log in with the new system, you'll see your initials here. You'll be able to click on that. As you can see down at the bottom, Bugs Bunny, and then it'll give you options to add your photo and have your information here so that they see that information when they log in. Let's see, there is not a fee for this. No, it's not a fee whatsoever. Okay, this is your new client portal. Okay. How will I know that I have a message waiting for my client? I'm going to show you that in a moment. Just to clarify, listing agents can read our client comments on property. No, they cannot read. This is your portal that you have sent to your customer. It's just a two-way conversation. Our client set up as current search is going to automatically transfer. Yes. Let's see, I have my email set up now. Do I use OneHome to set up automatic property watches? No, I do not believe that that is an option. It is just a normal search that you can do. Then when the property does update, or when a new property that has been listed that fits that criteria, it will filter into the portal as normal. Give school ratings, yes. If we set up a search for a buyer that is approved for an FHA mortgage only, when they make their own search, will their matches be FHA available? If they choose that, I do not believe that is part of their criteria if they make their own search up. So, but again, they have the ability to have the search that you have done for them here, and they have their own searches here. If they click on start a new search, they can type that address in of one of the properties in your search and be able to look a little bit deeper into the listing if they didn't want to click on the one that you sent them and they wanted it in their own separate search. Okay. We will still see recent portal visitors. Yes. The client has to manually enter taxes and interest rate on each property. Okay, they don't know that info, the right information. That is correct. They do not. So it depends on what information they would like to put in as what the down payment will be and what they're going to contribute. So they'll be able to type that information in. Okay. Get an email if our clients mark favorites. Currently, we do not get an email if our client marks a favorite. So we do get an email if our client marks favorite. So will that no longer occur? Correct. I'm going to show you where that will show up for you on your homepage in Realcom and also in the client portal. So they will have to sign in to use it every time. Save the page. I think we already covered that one. Okay. Will your current searches switch over automatically? Yes. Can we see what it looks like on our end when they request a tour? I cannot. If I go in and I do the actual tour, there is a chance that I will schedule the property. So no, I cannot show you that exactly. Will showing carts be available to the buyer when requesting apartments? Okay. Huh. Will the showing cart be available to a buyer when requesting appointments? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I'm going to have to refer. Let me research that and get back to you, Christine, on that. I'm writing that down now so I can look that up.
I'm noticing that we have quite a few questions here, but we are kind of running short on time. It might be best, Janine, if you take us to the agent side and demonstrate, those things that we know people are asking about, and then we will respond to every question. They're all being logged, so we'll be able to get back with everyone through email on anything that hasn't been answered.
Okay, so let me go into the email here so that you can see how, or the search so that you can see when it goes live, how you can text your customer. So let me come out of this and we go into a new share. There we go. Okay. Great. New share. There we are. Okay. So you've done your search. You've put in your criteria. Click on results as you normally would, as any other search, and you select particular properties or all of them. It's up to you, whatever the customer is asking for. When you scroll down to the bottom, you can click on email and fill in their email address. If you would. And notice that you have the option. Of course, you can BCC yourself, but it also says send the link via a text message. You give that a click. And notice you will have to email your customer. When your customer receives the email, in that email, they will elect to say, yes, I would like text messages sent to me. When they click on that, they will then receive their updates or their search and updates via text message just by doing that. So all you have to do is do the search as you normally do, fill this in, give that a click. And then, of course, here at the top, send opt-in. When they open their email, they'll see the email that you have, they'll opt in and they'll be able to receive it. We cannot do that because we're not live yet in the system, but in the classes that we are going to have starting December 5th, since we are live, we'll be able to demonstrate that for you. And let me come out of this here for you. And let's go back to Real Comp. Okay, let me log in to Real Comp here, and I will show you where you'll be able to get some of the study guides that we have. So I'm going to click, when I log into Real Comp, I'm going to click right into realcomp.com. And let's go back to that. There we are. So we can see you have the place here that you can click on that and it'll go right to all the information that you need. And here is the slideshow. You can click right on the slideshow. It's a PDF that will open up and you'll be able to look at it step by step. There's also videos under the Welcome to RCO3 Matrix OneHome. We'll click on that and you can open that up and be able to see all the videos that they show and that they have for the OneHome program here. So also here on the side, you'll be able to do that as well. If I go back up to the top and I look at, where are we? Products and services, here we are. You can scroll on down and there is the OneHome here as well that you can click on. It'll take you there too. If you decide to, either way you decide to go into it, you'll have that to review. So, oh, we still have tons of questions. Okay, so we'll definitely get all of those answered for you as well. Okay, well, I think that's going to pretty much conclude everything that we have as the tutorial. So we want to see you guys in class because we know that you'll probably have questions, of course. So starting December 5th, we are going to have, that's an all day kind of a day for this. So we have 4 classes that you can even start scheduling yourself now for those classes if you choose to. You can go in to our class scheduler in RealComp here. Close this out. And when you go into RealComp here, we can go right in the class scheduler and you will see the dates that we have here for this OneHome. It's the entire week we're going to focus on it. So they are already scheduled for you. So you can come right in. We're going to have 4 classes scheduled on the 5th, 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, 7 o'clock in the evening if you have to. And then every day that week, except for Friday, we are going to offer that class. So you have lots of opportunity to join us and you'll see some of the things that we can't show you today because we are not live with the system. So we'll definitely be demonstrating the texting and some other things of that sort that we can't get into today, but it's a full class. It's a webinar. So you will always be able to, it'll be sent to you if you register and can't make it. But if you do register for it, you will still receive the link that you can go back and watch it at your leisure. Very much like today. This is recorded and next week you guys will receive that link as well. And you can always go to YouTube to watch it as well. So I thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope you're excited about this. It's going to be a cool look for your customers, a lot of cool things that they can do. And it'll get a little bit more interactive with what they're looking for. You'll be able to find them the perfect home. So thank you guys so much and have a great Thanksgiving.